Hello everybody and welcome to a very strange edition of Japan Thursdays. Now I was going to make something longer. There's this one video where I went to the Emperor's Imperial Palace and I was going to edit that for you, but it's already 12 o'clock. I apologize about that, but I am going to make it up for you. I just wanted to let you know because I was on the phone with a very predominant person within the J-vlogging community just about 5 minutes ago, and let me just tell you guys straight out, I'm going to be on Give Me a Break Man, Give Me a Flake Man, and Hiko Simon, their show 2.5 Oyajis this Saturday, 11 o'clock. So I'm gonna get all that information. I'll put it up, make one more announcement or something like that. But make sure if you're around this Saturday at 11 o'clock Japan Standard Time, I'll be on there. They're gonna be interviewing me and things like that. But there's also this kind of war, another Twitter war. How stupid, but it is what it is. So I figured today for Japan Thursdays, I'd go ahead and take the opportunity to just answer a few general questions I always get almost on every single video. Yes, I live in Japan. Okay, yes, I live in Japan. I now currently live in Shibuya area and such. And Shibuya is kind of like the Times Square of Japan. Let me see. I have been living in, another one is how long have you been living in Japan? I've been living in Japan for 5 years now. The first year, I actually came here as an international student, and I stayed in Tokyo for 1 year. I was living in a place called Nerima, actually, Sakurajima. No, Sakuradai, actually. Sakuradai, not Sakurajima. That place blew up the other day. And I lived out there, I lived in Nerima for 1 year. Nerima is basically like Ikebukuro area. It's on the borderline of Tokyo and Saitama, which is Saitama's completely bumfuck country area. Anyways, so I stayed there for 1 year, and then after that I actually moved to Fukuoka area, and Fukuoka is like more like where you could say southern or more western part of Japan, the lower part of Japan that you see. Nobody really knows about it unless you're in the military, and right in Fukuoka was Sasebo, that military base and such. So I actually moved there for 4 years, and I stayed there in Fukuoka for 4 years. I bounced around many different places, and I worked in I worked in a very country area for 2 years, and then the other 2 years I was working in a really rich area, just doing English teaching, a couple other odd jobs, and just, if anything, I really think that's where I went from becoming like a young, like a young adult, a boy kind of dude playing around in Japan, to actually matured into what you see today. So, a good reason why a lot of people say when they meet me, they can see that I've like adapted to the Japanese lifestyle. I don't really get all crazy anymore, or like like you'll see a lot of these like arrogant foreigners that'll be living out here and be like, well, in America, like that, and I'm just like, whatever, ain't nobody got time for that, right? So I think for sure it's calmed me down a lot, changed me or whatever, but in some sort of case, some sort of sense, I had to sacrifice a good amount of I suppose Japanness or so. Yeah, I don't know. Of my Americanness, so to speak. Like, sometimes I have noticed now, being out here for like 5 years, sometimes people mention certain things, like for example, Reactor brother Cooley. I was watching one of his YouNows, and he was like singing, like he was just singing certain songs, and like I was just so lost, and I'm still only just getting caught up on dabbing like that, right? But by the time I got caught up on it, now it's already done. Like it's not cool anymore. Like so there are some sort of sacrifices there. I was thinking about that today. Like I know who Future is. I've heard the name, but I don't really know any of his. Actually, I do know one of his songs. at the same damn time. That's about it. Okay. So, what was I gonna say? I lost. Sorry. Like I said, goddamn Twitter war right now. So, what was I gonna do? What was I talking about? Sorry. So okay, after 4 years of living in Fukuoka, the reason I actually decided to come back recently, and if for those of you that have watched the channel for a while, that was the big announcement a while back. One of the big reasons is just I felt like my time in the country was done. And I'm talking about the countryside area was done. There wasn't much more I could learn out there. And I knew that, like, living in the country area, I was just going to kind of hit a pinnacle. Like, just hit a pinnacle, like there's only one or two things you can do out there. And pretty much it all involves English teaching. And it was basically like, look, if I stay any longer in the countryside, I'm going to end up getting a standard wife, getting children, having a standard English teaching job, and just live out my life that way until I'm like 40 or 50 years old and have a midlife crisis and try to do something else differently or whatever, right? And I just knew that was going to be a problem because that's not the path I wanted to go. So, I was really intrigued by the fact that YouTube Tokyo, that has been open for 3 years now, YouTube Tokyo in Roppongi Hills, they have a studio, and I saw all the stuff that you could use, and at the same time my YouTube channel was really starting to take off while I was in Fukuoka, but unfortunately there weren't a lot of people that were doing YouTube, and actually I was really picked on in a sense and teased in the fact that I was walking around. And if you guys, my older fans would know, you've seen these videos where I get really frustrated. It's like people started calling me like a video otaku, and like it really was looked down upon because they didn't really understand how YouTube worked or whatever. I remember when I was out with this one girl, she was like, "Wow, you take so many videos like that," because I was actually preparing them. Like, I was like, oh, this looks cool, let me put it on my channel or something like that. So, you know, I also learned there was kind of a time and place for everything here. But basically I knew that if I wanted to continue the YouTube thing or any sort of like production or movies or anything like that, that I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it in Fukuoka because they just wouldn't understand. So and maybe I've told you guys this story before, but this is more for newer people. You know, when you're trying to get a job in Japan, you generally need to be able to be in that area, and so it's very difficult to go from one job to another job in another prefecture securely. And I was trying for the last 2 years while I was in Fukuoka, and I almost ended up in Osaka at one point, but because I was black or whatever, whatever the reason is, I didn't fit the profile that the final boss or whatever didn't want to hire me, so that fell through, and I went into a heavy depression because I felt like I was going to stay in Fukuoka forever. So anyways, I ended up just dropping everything. I was just like, fuck it, that's enough. I don't care. I don't care if I lose like everything, and I don't care if my visa expires and I have to go back to America. I just gotta try this. So back in September I made the announcement, but October 1st, I believe it was, correct? October 1st? Yeah, I think that was the day. I just dropped everything. I quit my job, broke the contract on my apartment. I just left everything. You know, broke up with a lot of people, gave up a bunch of sex, and basically just left everything, and I went to Tokyo with nothing but a bunch of bags. Or actually, I made my way to Osaka first, and then on the way to Osaka, I made a pit stop in Osaka to get a laptop to continue the channel for you guys. the one that I'm using right now. And made my way up to Tokyo eventually, and I was just living, like sleeping out of like an apartment that wasn't being used for 1 week, was still making reactions for you guys, and that was in Akihabara, and it was actually nice for me. It was I loved it because all the technology was right there, but that apartment was damn expensive, so I couldn't afford it. And ultimately I probably wouldn't have. For a while I was actually thinking that it would be good to do it this way, but I decided not to. But yeah, my visa was gonna expire. I didn't have much money, but you know, I had enough faith in myself to jump with, just like the Dark Knight Rises, just jump without a rope. And within a month, in less than a month or so, I ended up getting a part-time job that is supporting my visa, and now I'm living in a guest house. If you guys remember, about 2 months ago or so, I was in another guest house, which was terrible, but it looked like I was in a closet, and I thought about staying there for a while, but I was realizing that it was affecting my channel as well, because every video people were like, "Are you in a closet? Are you in a closet?" like that. So, and I mentally as well, it was really frustrating me. It was the creativity. So I didn't have enough money yet to move out to my own apartment, because my goal here, and I guess this is should I make a separate video about this one? Maybe and my goal is to eventually move into another apartment, and I'm still divided on whether or not I want to get a 1LDK or a 2DK. And basically, like a 1LDK would be like a big area room type of thing, and then I'll maybe put up a partition or something for just my channel. But a 2DK would be 2 rooms, a dining area and a kitchen, like that. And basically, and with one of those rooms, I would just purely make dedicated to the channel, the YouTube channel, and that's ideally my main goal. And because trust me, they're not big rooms, but it would be really nice to have something like that. Very similar to what Victor, Give Me a Break Man, Give Me a Flake Man, has done with his channel. I just feel like that's the best thing. So like in the future, I can invite people, do different things. And in regards, going back to the whole reason I came out here, my biggest motivation was the YouTube Tokyo studios. I have been utilizing them more. I've talked to them. They showed me the different sort of sets I can use. It's now really just a thing of me thinking about what exactly I want to film. I mean, I have some ideas. There's something, but I think I just need to get creative people together and get creative minds together. I know there's one guy that wants to do reactions with me for the Flash and Arrow, and he's a real cool dude. But I also want to get away from just doing reactions and get back into doing other things, creative sort of stuff. Something that will stimulate the mind, basically. I already have this one idea I want to do, but I can't really mention much about it right now because it takes people flying over here. In May, there's going to be something pretty nice. I hope, if it all comes together, you guys will be very proud of me. And you know, next week next week I almost forgot. Oh shit, I need to make that reservation. Next week is the 3rd anniversary of the YouTube Tokyo space, so I just need to really do a better job of like contacting, networking, and then on top of that, my other goal is once I move out and get these finances together, because that's the main thing. It's like, it's just saving up money to make this deposit is the really tough part right now. But my job, I love my job right now. It's really good. It actually really helps. Like, I would have never been able to do the Civil War trailer reaction and basically be on top of my channel as much as I am right now if it wasn't for this sort of schedule that I have now where I'm free in the mornings, because morning time, my time, is evening time in America, and that's generally when all these big ass trailers drop and shit during prime time evening, so I can be right on top of it now. And on top of that, right now it's 12 a.m. and I can make videos for you guys right now and not have to worry about waking up at 7 a.m. in the morning. So I'm really fortunate and blessed to have this job right now. It doesn't pay much, but it's still enough that can handle things. And then if I really curve it just the right way, with all these hot models coming in, like, there's always the opportunity that if they're not really that interested in English lessons anymore, they can always see about collaborating and such. There is that opportunity as well. So anyways, that's, I guess, about all I can say right now. Is that's a little story of how, like, for people that have been wondering about that. The other thing I was going to say is, once everything's all said and done, and I'm a little impatient right now because I thought this living situation was going to be handled by springtime, but hopefully sooner than later. And then I want to actually enroll in a language school so I can start building back up my Japanese. You guys might have noticed, like, I don't speak much Japanese on the channel because I'm a bit embarrassed to speak it on camera, and I'd rather be very, very good in my native language than sound fucking stupid in my secondary language. So I really want to start forcing myself to, like, I've done a few videos, you guys have seen a few videos where I've spoken Japanese, but honestly, the Japanese people that would tell me the truth, because a lot of Japanese people always say, oh, your Japanese is so good, umai, so, no, sugoi, like, jozu ne, but they're just being gracious. Don't let that go to your head, as it did to mine one time. But so the people that were being real with me were saying, like, yeah, you can kind of understand what you're saying, but the fluctuation is kind of weird. But nobody was around to, like, tell me how to say it, like, so, and I could only do it in a few takes, just reading it off my phone, so I didn't know what I was saying at all. So anyways, I'm gonna really do my best to get better with the Japanese and maybe do some topics like that. But there you guys go. That's my little vlog today for Japan Thursdays about the most frequently asked questions in terms of almost every video. This guy lives in Japan? Well, yes, I do. And now you know, okay? I promise I'm gonna do my best next week to get up some other Japan content. Make sure you guys tune in this Saturday to the 2.5 Oyajis. Is that how you say it, Victor? Let's take a look here. Probably, yes. Oyajis. Okay. Talk to you guys later, alright? You take care of yourselves. Arigatou gozaimasu. I'm going to go to sleep, so oyasumi nasai. Bye bye.